Hi everyone, I'm here with your 722 lesson, How Does Y Change with Respect to X? Slope. Can you imagine swimming 1.5 kilometers, just less than a mile, getting dressed as fast as you can, hopping on a bicycle to race 40 kilometers, almost 25 miles, then getting off your bike to run 10 kilometers, just over 6 miles? Athletes who compete in Olympic distance triathlons do exactly that. In the 2008 Summer Olympic Games, Jan Frodeno of Germany won the gold medal by finishing the triathlon in 1 hour, 48 minutes, and 53 and 28 hundredth seconds. Frodeno did not finish the swimming section in first place, though. In fact, he was not even one of the first 10 people to finish that part of the race. While Frodeno may not have been the fastest swimmer, what mattered most was his overall rate. As you compare rates today, you will learn a new way to describe the growth rate of a line called slope. As you investigate rates of change, use the following questions to facilitate mathematical discussions with your team. How can I use the graph to figure out which racer is faster? How can we find the unit rate for each racer? What if the line does not pass through 0, 0? So we're going to take a look at 743 first. Biking the triathlon. The second part of the triathlon is a bicycle race. Since participants do not start the bicycle race until they complete the swimming portion, the bicyclists have varying starting times. The graph below shows information about 4 bicyclists during a 20-minute portion of the race. Explore using the 743 Student eTool. Click in the lower right corner of the graph to view it in full screen mode. You don't have to, it's right there for you. Based on the graph, list the bicyclists from slowest to fastest. How can you tell? So go ahead and pause the video and answer part A. So if you're back with me, you've answered part A. So we have to go slowest to fastest. So we have D is the slowest. A and C are traveling at the same rate. B is the fastest. And it asks, how can you tell? Well, you can tell by how steep their line is. Okay. So part B says Lydia wants to describe each bicyclist rate in kilometers per minute for an article in her school paper. To do this, she sketched triangles like the one for line A on the graph below. Where do the 4 and 6 come from on racer A's triangle? What do they represent? So go ahead and pause your video and answer part B. Okay, so if you're back with me, you've answered this. The 4 and 6 are the side lengths of the triangle. So what it means is that every 4 kilometers takes 6 minutes. Okay, we're going to look at this a little bit more in depth when you flip it over to the back. Part C says these numbers can be written as a rate in kilometers per minute to describe the distance the bicyclist rides as time passes. The fraction 4/6 represents how the graph of the line goes up 4 units for every 6 units that it moves to the right. The number 4/6 is called the slope of the line. Okay, so up to this point, we have been calling slope growth. So 4/6 is the growth of the line, but now we're going to start calling it slope. So on the lesson 722 resource page, you're going to find the slope of the other 3 lines. So your resource page, is right here. You're going to find the slope of lines B, C, and D. So go ahead and pause the video and do that. Okay, if you're back with me, hopefully you have looked at your resource page. So I'm going to kind of flip back and forth page-wise. So line B, if we're looking at B's triangle, B, This is B. So we have 1, 2, 3. So this is 3. And up 1, 2, 3. So for line B, the slope was 3 over 3, or in other words, 1. For line C, we had 1, 2, and over 1, 2, 3. So line C is 2/3. Finally, line D, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 1, 2. So line D would have been 2 over 4, which simplifies to 1/2. And finally, we already had line A, which we did in the previous question or the previous part. We had 4, 6, which simplifies to 2/3. So part D is what I would like you to answer. Did the slopes in part C confirm your ranking from slowest to fastest in part A? If not, review your slopes and your comparison of rates based on the graph to find any mistakes. So go ahead and answer part D. If you're back with me, we're moving on to problem 744 now. So 744 says, look at your Biking the Triathlon resource page from problem 743. Slope can also be thought of as a unit rate. Remember that a unit rate compares the change in one quantity to a 1 unit change in another quantity. Find the unit rate of each of the triathlon bicyclists. Make sure you label the units. So we have line A. So it's actually just bicyclist A. So I'm just going to label them by their letter. A, B, C, and D. So I'm only going to do a couple of these with you. So bicyclist A travels 2/3 kilometers for every 1 minute. So this is our unit rate. It tells us how far they're traveling per every 1 minute. Remember, unit rate is always per 1. So I've done the first one with you. I would like you to try B, C, and D on your own. Okay, if you're back with me, you've tried B, C, and D. So B should be 1 kilometer per every 1 minute. C should be 2/3 kilometers every 1 minute. And D should be 1/2, sorry, I'm running out of room, kilometer for every 1 minute. Part B says, write each of the bicyclist rates as decimals rounded to the nearest hundredth of a kilometer per minute. When you order the bicyclist rates, do you get the same results as in problem 743? So I would like you to pause the video and answer part B. If you're back with me, you've answered part B. We're going to save part B and we're going to talk about those decimals in class. And the last problem that you need to do, and you're going to do it on your own, is problem 747. So problem 747 said, Mr. Regner's class has been struck with the hiccups. 3 of the students track their number of hiccups over time. Assume each student's hiccups are at a constant rate. So you're going to answer parts A, B, and C about this. And it's kind of putting what we have done together, all together, not just broken down. So you're going to do 747. And that is the last problem that you're going to actually do. So when you are done, please make sure that you upload your pictures to Google Classroom to the assignment. And if you have any questions, please let us know.